Gen Z complains about no opportunities and how, boomers could buy a house for 12 grand and they have to work their asses off and they have student debt. And I totally agree with that. But on the other hand, and I'm like, I grew up middle class, but I did eat out of the garbage. And with Vice, like we were piling in Vice newsprints into a rented minivan till the axles were scraping. My dad and I were driving to like Guelph, Ontario, and unloading these things at 4 a.m, for years. So, and I was a tree planter and a bike messenger, and I'm not bragging about what I went through, but part of me is like, you guys did get fucked, Gen Z. You did get dug into a hole, but you also have to be able to eat poop to get out of that hole. Like that, you saw that viral Jubilee video with the guy with the Viking haircut, and Patrick, what's his name, Bet David, was like, "I'll give you a job right now. And the guy was like, "Well, I'll research your company." And it's like, dude, if you're broke, lay bricks, like do and work, clean out porta potties until you can get some money in the bank. So I think the curse of Gen Z is, on the one hand, they're correct that they're totally settled with insane debt and have no chance of making a place like this. But on the other hand, I don't think they have the work ethic to build a place like this.
Generally speaking, yeah. Like this, we have Gen Z people here who do have the work ethic, but it's nothing's absolute.
Like, remember Occupy Wall Street? I wanted to get one of those guys and be like, all right, you're right. These pigs, they're making all this money. Let's live with them in Montauk in their giant homes because they're so rich. You got to get up at 3 a.m. to get down to Wall Street to get the China markets.
Can I tell you a story?
And then, by the way, let me finish. You got to go out for lunch, drink bourbon, and wine and dine your clients. Then you got to go back to work. Then you got to schmooze your clients at dinner. Like, it's a 15-hour day.
Let me tell you about Occupy Wall Street. So farmland was gifted to the occupiers. Many people don't know this. And, I was friends with a lot of these people. So they said, hey, get off the grid. Be sustainable. Don't contribute to the pollution and the climate change and the rat race. Get away from that. Don't you know that peasants got half the year off? Why don't you come take the farmland and live the way humans are supposed to live? How long do you think they lasted?
I think I know this story. I believe it was like 3 months.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And this is a friend of mine. And I saw her after she got back. And then I was like, oh, you're back. And she was like, yeah, it wasn't really for me. And I said, why not? And she's like, dude, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. and I went to bed at midnight. It was crazy. You had to work nonstop all day, every single day with no days off. And I was like, yeah.
That's communism, by the way.
It is, but it's also just how humans have lived for hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of years. Yeah. But no, they much prefer to be living off of welfare and trust funds and grants.
That's like the new episode of White Lotus. Piper, what's her name? She's this rich girl. She wants to become a Buddhist, and she tries it out for like one night, and she's like, it's hot, the food sucks. And that's who's going to elect Zoran Mamdani. Mm-hmm. Is these rich girls that they have a justified gripe, by the way. I'm not lying about their gripe. They are right that things are unaffordable. But when it comes time to fucking fix the problem, it sucks.
So I think with the cultural crisis and the fertility crisis, by cultural crisis, I mean Gen Z having a less than average work ethic. And again, I'm not ragging on all Gen Z. There's a ton of Gen Z with tremendous work ethic. A lot of them are becoming more religious. A lot of them more conservative. But as a generation, millennials and then slightly more Gen Z, miserable work. Like I actually think millennials may be worse than Gen Z. They're awful. You
know what you should do? Sorry to interrupt. You got to Mr. Beast this problem, and you get someone to wear a beanie and a black T-shirt. Someone who's like, fuck Tim Pool. He's making all this money. What the fuck? He doesn't deserve. Sorry for that. F Tim Pool. And then you have to sit next to him to make it worth it, or people are going to go, you just went on vacation. And then you have that guy do your exact shifts and go through the news, the Marriage Effect, the Atlantic, and for like 2 weeks and watch him and be like, dude, wake up. It's 7 a.m. We got to rock. Let's go through the news stories and watch him just crumble.
Fall apart.
just
Did you watch the PBD versus the anti-capitalists debate?
yeah.
And they're like, I shouldn't have to do any work. Give me food.
Let me research your company, he says.
Yeah.
He tried to give them all sorts of legs up. He tried to help every single person. They're like, no, I don't want to.
Well, so this is what I'm saying about the cultural crisis and the population crisis. We simultaneously have, with Gen Alpha, the oldest being 15, they're going to be coming in the next couple of years as the low-skilled labor. Like literally next year, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds should be entering university and getting entry-level jobs. They won't be. Not only are there half of them, but their generation is fried from the iPad, Elsagate psychotic garbage that was being funneled to their mouths when they were babies.
Yep.
You combine that with Gen Z's skill gap. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I mean, with Gen Alpha, you had the COVID stuff where they weren't seeing faces. They weren't learning how to read. They can't read now. Teachers are talking about they can't do math and they can't read. With Gen Z, have y'all seen the video of the fire at the Dunkin' Donuts?
No.
Dunkin' Donuts, the toaster goes on fire, and this Gen Z woman,
I did see that.
she takes the back of a plastic broom and wiggles it over the fire. Oh my God. And you're just like, whoa, what is happening?
Competence crisis.
I saw a video
exactly.
tonight, or I saw a video today of a dude that gave the cash register. He gave him a $50 bill, and he's like, I just want to break this.
And
he gave him a 20, a 10, and 2 5s, and he's like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, that's wrong.
Well,
blah,
a
blah,
20 and 10 and 2 5s is wrong.
5s, yeah. But he's like, no, that's not. He's like, you owe me more money, and the guy couldn't count it together. It's like, how is it that you wouldn't be able to sit there and just?
So it's like two problems at
funny.
once. It's this influx of cousin marrying incompetence, and then it's also our own incompetence.
Our
combined.
culture did this. So what happens when you're saying, you get out of this work ethic? What am I supposed to do when I need? This is a big problem that we're facing as a company. There's a natural cycle of every company that has ever existed. Okay, somebody who gets a job at your company when they're 20 has different needs than when they're 30. So you hire a 20-year-old and he's doing computer basic work and you're paying him, $40 a year or whatever. And he's like, wow, I'm making so much money. And I'm talking about years ago. And then 10 years goes by and they get their standard inflationary raise. Maybe they get a promotion. Now they're like, look, I'm getting married. I got to buy a house. This isn't enough money for me anymore. And I have tons of experience. I need a raise. And you say, okay, well, here's the thing. I need someone to run the computers. You need a better job. There's two things we can do. You can go to a company and say, I have 10 years of experience doing these computer things. I'm at a higher level now. Hire me to do this. And I'll hire a new young person to come in and take your computer job because you're beyond it now, right? Or I can advance you and give you promotion to the next level of the company. If the company doesn't expand and I don't need that next level, that person needs to go work at a different company. That's just a normal thing. I say, bro.
Sound like you're speaking from personal experience.
This is normal for all businesses everywhere, all the time.
Yes.
I hire a 16-year-old to sweep the floors. By the time he's 18, he's plugging things in. He's setting up TVs. By the time he's 18, he's the full facilities manager. Or by the time he's 20. And then he's saying, look, I'm going to get married in a couple of years. I need to buy a house. And I'll be like, you need to go apply somewhere where they have the growth opportunity.
I had that problem with my previous producer, Ryan. Great guy, but he kept breeding. And I was like... Okay, this job is, if you really whittled it down, you could get down to 20 hours a week. But he was up to like 40, and I'm like, that's not my problem. But then, a great guy, I'm not disparaging him, but he kept having kids and kept, needing a bigger place, which he did. He's with Sam Hyde now. He's doing great, so God bless his cotton socks. But
But you need to bring in.
A lot of Zoomers will go like, I need this much more money. I got these many kids. I need a bigger house. And you're like, yeah, but that's not what the job dictates. I'm not your dad.
But so this is my recommendation. Okay, you've been here for X amount of years. Start looking at other companies that have a job at the next level that pay more.
Also, you are what you're worth.
Right. But here's the thing. I mean, that's what you need to do. And then I'll hire someone to do sweeping the floors, right? The problem is... there is no next generation to sweep the floors. And of the people we do have, they're incompetent. So we are facing a managerial collapse. Like
Here at Timcast right now, or you're being hypothetical?
Oh, definitely here. I mean, it is miserable. I just brought my buddy here from Chicago. He just started with us, and he's going to be doing management. And he's like C-suite level guy. He's like a very capable guy. And so he's going to be helping us out. But we've had management problems since the get-go. And I know this, and that's my lack of ability. I don't have the ability to do it.
No, it's not, Tim. You're a creative guy, so you need a they pronounce it comptroller, but it's pronounced controller. You need like a controller, an office manager. That's not your job.
Well, so the issue is I do it all. I do everything.
It's not good.
And we're at the point now where it's like as far as a mom and pop media shop can go. So either we, and I talked about this a year ago, we go to venture capital and we say, we need investment not because we're broke. We need investment because we need corporate level management to come and straighten things out and fix.
Yeah, but you got to be careful because look what happened with Vice.
I know.
With A&E.
And that's why we don't do it.
Or did you ever see that Tower Records doc? Tower Records built on cocaine, by the way. This too shall pass. Everyone at Tower Records used to build shelves and put up for records, and then they built CD shelves and everything. And their head of their accounting, whatever, used to like sell, fucking replacement CDs. Then one day they decided, you know what, we're so big now, and they survived MP3s, they survived disco, they were a rock company. They could not survive hiring CEOs like the A&E chick that took over Vice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It destroyed them.
Are we allowed to talk about Vice?
Yeah.
So I can tell you what, I was only there for about just over a year. But of course, when I got hired, it was largely Shane, Sarouche, and Eddie. It was basically like Eddie directly. And then Shane was a bit passive, but I basically would like talk to Shane about stuff periodically. A lot of people there were like, how do you talk to Shane? It's like he's walking down. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? It's like 100 people working. He's right there. Just go talk to him. So friends of mine who were working executive level, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble, said that what happened was there had been a string of individuals who had accused Shane and others of sexual harassment or assault or something, and that they had settled. This story came out, I think, in the New York Times, talking about the settlements and how these women were under NDA, and they were like, release them from their NDAs and stuff like this. When Vice took this big investment, starting with Fox, then of course A&E, Hearst, which is
Viacom,
etc. What was it? WPP, I believe. Wire and Plastic Products, or what are the companies called?
I don't know. That must have been after my time.
Maybe. So what ends up? This is what I was told, that with these stories about the bro club, the patriarchy, and the sexual harassments, assaults, etc., Vice was going to get hurt. And the people who invested, these big companies, didn't want to see their investments get knocked down. So what happened is the investors, Disney basically, went to Vice and said, you will be a feminist brand and you will embrace the left and what they're saying. Otherwise, we're going to lose all our money because you guys are looked at as right-winger, bro, patriarchy, frat boys. And they went, sure, whatever you say. Brought in a female CEO, shifted the narrative of the company from edgy punk rock into feminism. There's a really great example. So I was talking to one of the producers at Vice about, there was an article and it said, this horrifying app will show you any woman topless. And what the app did was you took a picture of a woman and then it would automatically generate, and this is 8 years ago, it would remove her shirt and then put a different image of a topless woman. And I was talking to this producer and I said, you know where the company went wrong? Do you know what the headline of that article would have been in 2008? This amazing app will show you any woman topless. And then you guys decided to be high school hall monitors, angry about everything, and people stopped reading and stopped watching.
Especially young people, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, stop telling me what to do and stop yelling at me.
I resent that whole bro culture accusation, because Vice was built on like the Clash. It was built on punk rock. And if you talk to any girl who worked there in the 90s or early aughts, they'll say it was the funnest place ever. Like, we would go out with these girls and party. There was not fucking the interns thing. That was like a finance bro thing. We were friends with the interns. Now, what I've learned later is, or what I've been told later, is that Shane was regularly, this is just allegedly, I don't want to violate any NDAs, but was regularly sexually assaulting women under my nose. And I think that was sort of leaked into bro culture somehow. And I think one possibility that I've been told is that he said, all right, the hammer's about to come down on me hard for all of this sexual assault. So I'm going to have A&E chick take over So when the hammer comes down, I'm like, I'm not even the guy anymore.
Yep.
It's what's her name? What is her name again?
Dubik or something?
Dubik, yeah.
But I think she left too. I mean, the company's basically dead.
Well, here's what I heard about the company. We'll get that in a sec. So I met these moms, and they were like, yeah, we used to make fun of her. We used to like these moms at a daycare in, I don't know, Red Hook or something. She was known as so retarded that they would be friends with her like as a joke to get her quote. She was known as the dumb mom at the drop-off. But I did hear with Vice post all of this shit that some Australian dude bought it for like $25 million.
When?
2 years ago, a year ago.
What from $7 billion?
Yeah. And he keeps it alive right now. This is just what I've heard. He keeps it alive right now with like 3 issues a year with the staff of like 5. And they have a website that's sort of the same. And I think his goal is to sell it for like 26 million, which is good. You made $1 million, but it's no 7 billion, 300 billion.
Was it ever really?
No.
Right.
It was always a balloon.
Yep. That's what all the employees thought. They thought it was a pump and dump. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.